I was going over the draft papers of my third great-grandfather, who was born and raised in Monroe County, just right over here. Monroe County. His description is black hair, dark complexion, black eyes. And the reason is because they were part Cherokee. He later applied for the Eastern Cherokee Eastern Cherokee applications and put his grandsons on there as well, which are my mother's grandfather. Okay, my mother's grandfather, my great-grandfather, through my mother and his father, through my mother and through her father, all the men. You know, it's so interesting to me to watch, or to not watch, but to look at the paperwork, because at 18 years old, he went in to fight for the Union. Went from basically where Coker Creek is, if you know where that's at, Ironsburg, went all the way to Knoxville, right as he turned 18. And his father went with him. His father, who was also an abolitionist, by the way. The father died. The son did not. Do you know how old his father was? 74 years old. You know why he went? I believe this with every fiber in my body. It was his youngest child and his only son, and he wasn't going to let him go see war. Because he'd already seen the War of 1812. He wasn't going to let his son just go. And he ended up dying, and he is buried in an unknown grave because he died of smallpox, actually, in Nashville. I have a whole video on it. I firmly believe that had that father probably not gone and hopefully guided his 18-year-old son, who did survive, that whole legacy would have been lost. I wouldn't be here. Fritzy, did we have a good jog? Yeah, I don't think you jog too much. Oh, welcome to Appalachia's homestead. Girls, you gotta get you some of these. Have you seen this? Everybody's like, what in the world is she doing? Is she shaving? Okay, well, just about every woman on the planet that doesn't want to look like the bearded lady from the circus, you got to get these. Have you seen this? I saw these from Leanne Morgan. By the way, welcome back to Appalachia's Homestead. Leanne Morgan, you know, she's the comedian. She's on YouTube. She's on Facebook. And her daughter and her were going to get ready for a trip or a show or something. And they were doing this. And I thought, they talked about how wonderful these are. You can get them on Amazon. They're called Tinkles. And so I'm showing you this because I just got another little pack. I got them from Amazon. They're so cheap. They're cheap. You get like a 3-pack if you want it for like $7 or something. I got a 3-pack because I love these. They are the best thing. Don't go get those crazy little things you have to put the batteries in and be like, and all that. No. You start using this. This is all you're going to want. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to put a link down below from Amazon. I'm telling you, for your eyebrows and just the peach fuzz and the weird little things like this, I'm going to give some to my Nana. My Nana will think this is awesome. My sister, every woman on the planet. We don't want that crazy peach fuzz, especially like, okay, let's be honest. If your hormones are a little out of whack, maybe you're expecting a baby. Okay, I looked like a werewolf when I was pregnant. I did. You can't help it. Your body is in total protection mode of those precious babies. And we'll go further into talking about that. Your body is changing. Your hormones are changing, and your circulatory system is expanding. And suddenly you look like you're on Teen Wolf. I don't know how that. So that's how that all started with me. And then it goes away. Guys, don't get freaked out. But girls, and especially if you get up in your, late 30s and your 40s, you want to be smooth like butter, baby. Tinkle, tinkle. I'll put the link down below. You got to try it to believe it. You're not going to be disappointed. I promise you that. I love these things. Speaking of mama bearism there, listen, I truly believe that individuals that are being used by the devil are on attack right now like crazy. And I think a lot of these people are in our lives. And I think that a lot of them disguise themselves to be Christians. And I'm not even sure that they're fully cognitive of the things that they say and do, but they are a part of the great division here that we are seeing all over the world, but particularly here in the United States. Because when I can just ask questions that I think everybody should be asking right now, and I'm basically told I'm not a Christian, and I don't know Bible prophecy, and I'm stupid, and all the name calling, and they do these things without giving any justification. They don't explain why or how. They just name call you. That's coming from the devil. I've been on YouTube a long time, and I've seen just about every type of comment that there is over the years. Really insulting comments or sexual comments, threatening comments, highly racist comments. I mean, there's people out there that really don't like me because I have no issue in telling you that in my family history that we are not only Native American, we're Native American, but we're also black. And that just riles people up. And it only takes a couple. It's not most of you, I know. But it really riles them up. And so especially when I ask questions or express opinions, and try to bring on thought-provoking conversations with people, they don't like that. See, they want you dumb. They want you down, dumb, dirty, broke, doing what everybody else should tell you to do. You can't have a mind of your own, especially if you're a woman. You can't have a mind of your own. And you can't ask questions. Although we are the ones that are producing the next generations, that carried them. And they're the ones that you want to send off to war. And you don't think that mama's going to ask questions? You got another thing coming. But that's what I'm up against right now with my last video. Now, it's not a lot. I wasn't threatened yesterday. I was threatened 2 weeks ago. And we're keeping a tab on everything. Don't worry about it. I got it. But I'm going to ask questions. And I'm sorry to tell you that if you look around today, why is Governor Newsom meeting with the leader of China? Why is Obama coming out and kind of rocking the boat a little bit, pushing back on Biden? Folks, I think we're in for a serious ride for the next year. I've said this over and over. And all the things that you think are going to be in place or are going to happen by next year's election, I think we're all going to find out that everything that we assume or possibly think is probably could be the opposite. It's hard to make predictions day to day now because things are so upside down, and that's by design. That is the one thing that I hope that even if you don't agree with me about Donald Trump, and I don't expect you to, but things are very upside down. And see, that's part of the process. See, they want you to doubt your patriotism. They want you to doubt whether or not we're going to survive as a country. Even if these things are true, they want you to be in a complete paralysis state of fear and doubt. That is, and see, because then, have you ever seen an injured animal? A dog, for example. You may have the best dog on the planet, the most loyal dog, and they've gotten injured their paw, for example, right? And you're trying to help it, and this is your beast, right? This is your dog. This is your cochise. If you have any brains in your head, you should know that before you try to help that creature, it might be good to, at a minimum, for that moment of help, you might want to put a muzzle on them because they're going to bite you. If they're in pain, they're either going to whimper and run, or they're going to bite you, even though they love you. That is exactly what happens. And this is what people are doing, which is exposing the division that is happening because we are all being manipulated. We're all being put into fear. I don't think talking about this stuff is doomsdaying you. This is what I say. When we talk about these things and all the things that are going on, and I get accused, or other people that you may watch get accused of being doomsdayer, you have to, before you get mad at that person for just talking and talking about issues or whatever, the question should not be, or the emotion that comes out should not just be just catapulted onto that person. It should be, why are they saying this? Did this happen? Okay, they're questioning why this happened. You got to really look at the issues and not the individual. So I'm going to question what's going on around the world for multiple reasons, because number one, I still have a brain clicking in between my ears, at least a little bit of one. And I think we should ask questions regardless of who we are, our color, our religious beliefs, how we were raised. I think it's important to ask questions. Okay. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm a mother of 3 young men. I'm going to do it. You don't have to be here when I do it. It's okay. I don't expect you to be here. But those that are adults and that have questions, I invite you to be here. And I invite you to be, I wish that all of us would be nice to each other. You're falling for the trap when you attack me, and I'm falling for the trap when I attack you. I'm not trying to attack people. I'm trying to say, wake up. Did you vote for this? Come on. I don't believe that the majority of the people that actually did get up off the couch and took the time to vote, along with their dead cat and dead aunt, but whatever, for what's going on right now, I still firmly believe that a lot of them would say, no, I didn't think all this was going to happen. I want to believe that you aren't for all the chaos that's happening. I want to believe that you want to turn things around. Now, I know there's some that don't. You got the devil in your veins. I know. And there's people that voted for Trump. There's people that probably are very similar to me. But when it comes down to that weakness and they're that injured animal, they necessarily are not thinking with their right minds. And they can be just as evil as the next person. What I'm getting at is, instead of attacking each other, why don't we ask more questions? And instead of getting mad at somebody like me for pointing things out, why aren't you taking your anger? Why aren't you taking your concern and taking it beyond me to those that are actually causing the problems? I'm not causing your inflation. Okay? I'm not. I'm not causing you to lose your job today. I'm not causing your son or daughter to be drafted. I'm not causing you to lose your home or your car. I'm not causing your beanie weenies to go from 69 cents to $5.49. Do you see what I'm saying? And we're losing our way with that. That is what they want. That's what they want. And they're winning. So what is 2024 going to look like? Well, let's talk about that for a second. I don't know what 2024 is going to look like, but I'm bracing for it, and I hope you are too. This is why I tell you all the time. We cannot control individually everything that's going on clearly we cannot, but we can control what we're doing with our own selves, be it our bodies, be it as far as our health and fitness. How prepared are we? Are we learning to defend ourselves appropriately and lawfully and the right way? I want to make sure I say that. Are we learning skill sets? Are we trying to put ourselves in the best financial position possible in order to weather the storms? That's what I focus on. And I want that for all of you, whether you are whatever you are. Okay, I really don't care. But some folks didn't listen to my video fully, and they just spouted off at me. And every time I read that, when I do see it, I go, this is why we're in the shape that we're in. And we got to be better than that, people. We've got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. So who's going to be your presidential person for 2024? Well, is it going to be Joey? Do you believe that? I don't know. I mean, you know, just like with a lot of other things get that there's a lot of dead horses that got rode to death, and then they have to transfer their situation and their plan with something else. So how's that going to work out? Will Trump be the nominee for the Republican ticket? I don't know. Folks, I'm just a mom trying to do the best that I can out here. That doesn't excuse any of my imperfections or when I make mistakes. I'm a human just like you. We're all trying. But my belief is we are here for a reason, and that we are supposed to try harder every single day. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Jesus is Lord, you're going to be raptured tonight, and you don't have to do anything. I don't believe that. If you believe that, okay, that's what you believe. You're welcome to make a YouTube channel and talk all about it. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Okay? That's fine. But what if I'm right and you're wrong? And how does that work out? And I'm sorry to tell you that just because somebody is a certain ethnicity or come from a certain country doesn't mean they're good. Okay? I mean, we can talk about Bible. We can look all through the Bible and give a lot of examples of people that were not good people. Okay? And so I think we need to be very careful when we start throwing around the Bible to people. And I think we need to be very careful when we tell somebody that they're not a Christian because they're questioning motives from government leaderships. There's a big difference between the Israeli people and their government. There is a big difference between the Palestinian people and Hamas. There is a big difference between we, the people, and the snakes that are in Washington. So, absolutely, I'm going to question all authority and their motives at all times. Because when we don't do that, we are no longer the watchman on the wall. We are supposed to be looking out for all brothers and sisters, even when they hate us. I kind of feel confident in that. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be a pushover. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be railroaded and treaded on. But when it comes down to the greed on this planet and the greed within the governments, they don't give a damn about you. Okay? We're all being manipulated, and we have to keep asking questions. The answers are never good in most scenarios. So I'm going to go with what I feel is the best thing for me to do as a Christian, as an American, a proud one, and as a mother. And if you can't explain why you feel protecting all of these things is wrong, then your best bet is to get off social media and to shut your pie hole. That's as Christian as it gets. If you can't bring something productive to the table to help fix humanity, even if we all don't necessarily fully agree with it, if you can't have an adult conversation at this point in time and you're just fueled on anger and hate and despair and you've given up and you blame everybody else but your own self for your own situation, then just don't say anything at all. We're trying to fight here. I'm trying to fight here. I'm trying to fight the good fight for my family and for my community and for my country. And I want peace on this planet. It's not going to happen. I'm not delusional. But that doesn't mean that I go, okay, let's blow it up. I got an extra pack of 5.56. Let's go. No, I'm not there. Because see, that's where the world is pushing me and you to be. Now, like I said, will I defend myself? The people in these mountains, they will defend themselves. They're ready to go. But do notice, they're not the ones out picking the fights. Do notice, we're not the ones picking the fights. We ask questions. We feel we should be ready. We feel we should be talking with the Lord every minute. But I'm not going out and picking a fight today. And 99% of the people that are here watching this video right now, that have a good heart and a good mind and just want to live free, they're not picking the fights either. But they will defend themselves. And I will defend myself. I love the Lord. I love my family. I love my husband. I love my children. I love my community. I love East Tennessee more than ever. I love this country. I'm proud of my history. I'm proud of who I come from. And it's not going to stop, whether you see me online or not. And there are millions behind me. So have your eyes open and be questioning everything. And when you do that, just know you will get pushback, because it's supposed to be hush, little baby. As they pimp you and your entire family out for nothing but war and greed. No, I'm not going to be part of that. And I'm not going to allow somebody to come onto my channel and to push that on me and to push that onto my viewers as well. You've shown up to the wrong saloon. You should back up and go out. So if you don't want to vote for Donald Trump, then don't. But I stand by everything that I said yesterday. And if you didn't get the full idea of what I was saying, then go listen again, because I'm not going to repeat it. That's me standing up for myself. I said everything that I needed to say, and I explained everything that I needed to explain. I won't do it again. Please be praying for this country. They are doing everything they can to pull it under the world order. Some of you will argue and say that we are already there. We very likely could be. And if that's the case, you better be preparing like hell. If your pastor isn't telling you to prepare, I'm telling you to prepare. If your mama tells you you're a fool because you're preparing, you probably need to back away from mama for a bit. You need to use the brain that God and Granny did give you, and that is to believe, that is to speak, that is to stand up for all of these innocent lives all over, and to prepare, because you are in the biggest spiritual warfare battle that's amping up. And the ones that you believed in the most are probably going to let you down, and they're probably going to be the ones that try to manipulate your minds the most. And unfortunately for us Christians, a lot of times that's, well, for anybody for that matter, but particularly Christians, a lot of those people are the people that are in your church. I'm not telling you to not go to church. I'm not telling you to not believe. I'm not telling you to not have community. I'm not telling you all these things. What I'm telling you is don't feel that you can't ask questions. That is how all of the atrocities of the past happened. Whether it's to Jews, whether it's to Native Americans, whether it's to blacks. You know, I'm going to finish up and talk about this. Hope you make it this far. I was going over the draft papers of my third great-grandfather, who was born and raised in Monroe County, just right over here. Monroe County. His description is black hair, dark complexion, black eyes. And the reason is because they were part Cherokee. He later applied for the Eastern Cherokee Eastern Cherokee applications and put his grandsons on there as well, which are my mother's grandfather. Okay, my mother's grandfather, my great grandfather, through my mother and his father, through my mother and through her father, all the men. You know, it's so interesting to me to watch, or to not watch, but to look at the paperwork, because at 18 years old, he went in to fight for the Union. Went from basically where Coker Creek is, if you know where that's at, Ironsburg, went all the way to Knoxville, right as he turned 18. And his father went with him. His father, who was also an abolitionist, by the way. The father died. The son did not. Do you know how old his father was? 74 years old. You know why he went? I believe this with every fiber of my body. It was his youngest child and his only son, and he wasn't going to let him go see war. Because he'd already seen the War of 1812. He wasn't going to let his son just go. And he ended up dying, and he is buried in an unknown grave because he died of smallpox, actually, in Nashville. I have a whole video on it. I firmly believe that had that father probably not gone and hopefully guided his 18-year-old son, who did survive, that whole legacy would have been lost. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. So ask me today, ask your own self today, why you should speak out or stand up or stand for something. It's for your children and your grandchildren, and probably a grandbaby long down the line that you don't know and you may never know. So everything that you're doing today, everything that you're standing up for or against, isn't for you. It's for your children and your children's children. Because at this rate, and if we stand down, there is no future. And you know that as well as me. Like, subscribe, and share. I hope this video found you well. I'm going to have to get back talking about my tinkles. I'm all worked up. You know what I meant by the video. I'm not worried about it. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Keep fighting. Keep speaking. Keep preparing. Like, subscribe, and share. I love you more than you know, even if you don't like me. And I'm praying for you. Godspeed, and we'll see you in the next video.